The Department of Conservation and Fisheries was back at it again with their annual summer program for children ages 7 to 12, and the JTV Youth Media crew caught up with the program during an exciting field trip to a lobster farm in Pockwood Pond for a close-up look at the activities of our junior marine biologist. Nia Douglas filed this report.
The JTV Youth Media crew caught up with the Conservation and Fisheries Department's annual summer program at the Caribbean Sustainable Fisheries Lobster Farm on Friday, July 12th, where the participants of the program were eagerly exploring the farm and learning about the many attributes of the lobster, mangroves, and tilapia farming.
From this stage here, they don't generally have mouths and they don't feed too much at this point, and they'll molt and then they'll grow a hard shell. So once they have a hard shell, they're a lot easier to deal with, they're not as fragile, and they tend to eat, that's where they start eating little snails, dead fish on the bottom of the floor, algae. From here, then they'll grow into about that size. So they're starting to get nice and hard now, all their colours are starting to show, their digestive systems are fully developed. And this is the size that we have on our farm at this stage. These ones will probably be about a year old. So this is the size that, she's probably about 2.5 years old, had her on the farm, and this is the size that eventually we would like to start breeding. So we get introduce them to males and hopefully they like each other and we let the cycles take place.
The participants in the program were exposed to the different age lobsters from purelie to adult, the methods and processes used to properly and efficiently farm the lobsters, the concept of tilapia farming, and were able to gain knowledge on topics seldom understood by many of us in the community. The level of enthusiasm and the inquisitive nature of these students have been startling, according to Ms. Farrington, Environmental Education Officer at the Department of Conservation and Fisheries, who says the students have chosen a program that really suits their interests.
I'm pretty much overwhelmed by the younger age range. To me, they're deeply involved in it. They're taking notes. They're walking around with their little scrapbook. You can see the one student here on my right, and everything she listens for, she makes notes, she asks questions. I find that this year the kids are very much environmental stewards, so to speak. So they really choose a summer program that, brings out the best in them.
The venture was one of several field trips where the children enrolled in the program were able to engage with the practical side of their marine biology studies. The program focuses on ecological theory relevant to the nature-oriented Virgin Islands and taught to children as young as 7 years old.
So you said there's a theoretical and practical part. So
Yes.
Is it like school?
Yeah, it's pretty much the classroom is our environment kind of style. I try not to indulge in too much in class, keep them in the field, but you have to first get the theoretical and the terminology of it understood, and then you go out in the field and you get to see the real life demonstrations.
When you guys say you experiment with them, what do you mean you experiment?
We're just seeing what happens with them. So we'll grow them out, see how they reproduce, see what they like to eat, see how easy it is. If it's easy, then we'll look at going to the next step.
And do you breed the lobster or no? You just catch them?
We're just catching them at the moment, but we do hope to breed them in the future.
Despite the program taking place in a traditional classroom setting, the participants of the program are motivated and excited about experiencing summer 2013 from this ecological perspective. After learning and interacting with their environment and different species characteristic to our region, these young marine biologists have taken to the program and represent the Conservation and Fisheries Department with pride and vigor. Needless to say, after a summer of engaging and interacting with our marine ecosystems, these environmental stewards will be able to share their experience and strengthen the territory's sustainable future. Nia Douglas for JTV Youth Media.